But people actually buy more products from the delivery delay notification. It blows my mind. You would think that would be completely opposite of
Yeah.
what customers are going to do. But like we've had a few brands now that say, I have this delivery delay flow and I'm getting additional orders from it. Like that is just,
What? That's crazy. Why?
I know.
Why? That's the last thing I'd think about doing.
People will value that. They actually really care that you're doing the right thing.
This week's edition of the D2C Deep Dive is brought to you by Motion. Are you still using spreadsheets to track your creative ad reporting? Well, if you are, you should try Motion instead. Motion bridges the gap with your creative team through visual and digestive reports so that they can make engaging content that actually converts. With one click, you can share insights with your team and add members to your workspace so they can easily deep dive into reports on their own. Motion makes it super easy to identify key drivers for performance and helps eliminate the guesswork in the creative production process. Join the 500 plus teams like Huel, The Ridge, and Foxwell Digital in using Motion to improve their ad results. Say goodbye to creative fatigue and try Motion for yourself with a 14-day free trial at motionapp.com. Hello and welcome back to the D2C Deep Dive. My name is Fraser and today we're going to be talking post-purchase. It could be something which never crosses your mind, or it could be something which it's all you think about. Well, it's going to be the only thing you think about and hear about for the next half an hour or so, because we're going to be chatting to Julia from Wonderment. If you don't know, Wonderment is a service that allows you to really dig into your post-purchase and give your customer the best possible experience they have after they've ordered a product from you. It's a really interesting episode, and it will make you think about things that you didn't ever think were important, because that's what it did for me. Juliana, welcome to the D2C Deep Dive. It's great to have you. You work at Wonderment, and today we're going to be talking about post-purchase. I'm all about the acquisition of customers, right? I want my clients to get more customers, and I want everyone to live a successful business life. However, part of that success that a lot of brands have is with the post-purchase, and a lot of brands get it wrong. So tell me about Wonderment. What do you do? How do you help people after they've acquired a customer and that customer needs to get the product?
Yeah, no, thank you for asking. I know it has been an overlooked area for a bit in D2C, so happy to share my knowledge. So basically, Wonderment pulls in shipping data from over 80 carriers across the globe, and then from there, we allow you to do a lot of really neat things with it. You can trigger Klaviyo flows, sending emails that are proactive to your customers, telling them, your order's been picked up, delivered, but also the carrier's picked it up, that's an extra layer, or your shipment has been stalled and we're working on it. You can also send them to your own order tracking page that's branded. So rather than sending people to a DHL or a USPS where it's a disconnected experience, you can send them to your own proprietary tracking page with useful content like FAQs and product usage tips. You can plug things like your subscription service or your loyalty program. So there's a lot of marketing you can do there. And yeah, I think a lot of brands are worried about Q4. We know Shipageddon is still lingering in the background. And when we did a preliminary retro on last year, and just to take a look at what the situation was with shipping, we found 23% of our customers' deliveries were stalled. And so if you're worried about that, we do have a reporting dashboard within Wonderment where you can keep an eye on shipping performance. You can look at whatever stalled. You can take proactive steps to tell your customers that you're working on it. We even let you do a Slack integration where you can get pinged every time there's a stalled shipment. And we also integrate with Gorgeous. So if you've got help desk people, we can pull in that delivery information when you're talking to a customer.
Amazing. It's like an all-in-one platform. If you want to do post-purchase right, I think Wonderment is the place to be. But why is post-purchase so important? Because like we mentioned at the start, everyone talks about acquisition. Everyone wants as many customers coming through the door as they possibly can. But not many people think about what happens afterwards. So why should people pay attention to post-purchase? Why is it so important?
Yeah. Okay. So anecdotally, you're a brand and you've spent all this money on your branding, your advertising, your PR, you're doing everything you possibly can to get someone in the door, add to cart, purchase your product. They're anticipating their order. They're really excited to get it. And then something happens, right? There's a stalled shipment, there's a hurricane, Shipageddon happens, whatever it is that's stopping your customer from getting the order. And a lot of brands just have shrugged their shoulders or ignored the problem and said, like, if there is an issue, they're going to reach out to me through CX, they're going to file a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now you've gone from someone being really excited and happy about your brand to now being angry at you and having to take time out of their day to get in touch with your customer support team to get it resolved, right? So that's not the ideal end of the journey for your customer, right? Is they haven't even gotten the order yet and they're already not thinking about, oh, I want to order this again. It's a bad situation to put yourself in as a brand after you've spent so much time trying to get someone to, join your customer base. So that's just an anecdotal. Obviously, you're going from happy to angry. We don't want that for ourselves as a brand. But the other thing is people are really paying attention to their orders. They are opening their emails with their order confirmation, shipping confirmation, delivery confirmation, 60 to 80% of the time. And then they're clicking through to whatever the order tracking page is, like 10 to 20%. Now, if you look at the transactional emails and SMS messages that people are getting versus the marketing campaigns you're sending them, those are way bigger open rates and way bigger click-through rates, right? So you have the attention of your customer. Now, what are you going to do with it? And a lot of brands, again, have overlooked this stage of the purchasing process and have sent, default Shopify templates where it's just like, here's order number 17496 and here's what you ordered and that's it. Or worse, here's what you ordered. Go check out this DHL page to find out where it is. And oh, by the way, there are errors there. They haven't updated. They're trying to upsell you on their stamps, whatever's happening there. And so that's, again, like a big missing chunk of the post-purchase experience that, can be really valuable. And so, when we were thinking about, okay, what can we do with all this data that we're ingesting for shipping? And we realized, wow, customers are really opening, clicking, checking their order tracking pages, sometimes 3 to 5 times. If it's a nicotine gum purchase, they're checking it 7 to 9 times, right? Like they really want the product. What can we do with that attention? that is super valuable. And so now that we've got the capability to give our brands that we work with, that real estate back, sky's the limit. You can, put whatever content you think is going to help you complete your sales and just get repeat purchases in the door.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think most people listening to this have had a bad experience post-purchase with some kind of brand. For me recently, we ordered I think it was some cleaning products or some shampoo or something like that. And the wrong order came. It was a complete wrong order. And we had to go all the way around the houses to get this returned. Then they sent more stuff and it wasn't right. And it instantly puts you off ever shopping there again. You think, well, if they can't get the one thing right that they need to do, then why would I bother giving them more money? So I think it is so important for people to start thinking about that. How can you improve that whole scenario for your customer? You want to make it the best possible experience. And I think that's why so many people are putting so much impact on their packaging and all this type of stuff right now, because it's an experience, right? Have you found that things like that, like packaging, are a major part of the post-purchase? Because it's not something people really think about, but it is pretty important, right? Like the experience of getting something.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I think, if you had asked me about a year ago, I would have said, yeah, unboxing is a major part of the experience. Like you should be putting all the bells and whistles on there. I think it really depends on the brand. Like if you have a very strong brand where it's like, if you could take the logo off of something that's a marketing asset, you can still tell what company it is. Yeah. If that's the case, like then yes, branding and unpackaging is really important. Actually just had an order with Bathorium, which is like a bath bombs and soaks company. And it looked amazing. I opened it. It smelled amazing. Like it really does create an impact. However, I have been investigating sustainability a lot lately, just out of my own curiosity. And, a lot of these unboxing experiences can be bad for the environment. There's a lot of extra packaging. There's a lot of, it's not great for the planet in some cases. So I will say there are a growing number of consumers that care a lot about, things being recycled, upcycled, things being repurposed. And so like maybe if you do want to do a great unboxing experience, like the first purchase is the wow factor where you're going to get those Instagram and TikTok shares, but maybe the next few orders don't have to
Yeah.
be as fancy. So I think you can kind of tread the line between having that high impact, high value experience, but then also having a mind towards what consumers care about, which is, not having things in landfills.
Yeah, true. What do you think is the most important thing that brands can do in order to make sure the customer has the best post-purchase experience? Because like you said, sometimes it's just as simple as, like nice looking emails, which people actually want to open and can find the information in there. What do you think is the biggest lever that people can pull to make sure that their customers have the best experience?
Yeah. So, really, there's fundamental things you should be putting in place to make sure that people are getting the information that they need about their order. And this is something that could take you less than a day to put together, is really having those core Klaviyo flows of, order confirmed, shipment picked up from carrier, shipments out for delivery, order delivered. Like those are really easy. I would say on top of that, SMS, offering that as an extra channel of communication is really important because, we have customers that have perishable products like dog food. We've got customers who are shipping chocolate in the summer that melts easily. We've got seltzer in the winter that turns into a block of ice. There's a lot of reasons why people need to know that their orders are there and need to be picked up, especially if there's inclement weather. I just got a package that was sitting in the rain for 4 hours, not ideal. Offering more than one channel of update, I think is really valuable. And then, yeah, have fun with it. I mean, once you've got the basic information that you're sending people, you can provide value aside from just where is my order, like, what do I need to know about how long it's going to take to ship? How do I return it? How do I use it? Those are all really important things to add. And then, like I said, with your order tracking page, once someone's seen the order update, you've got a playground. You can give them a product quiz. You can tell them about your mission or your values as a company. You can reinforce the value prop while they're waiting for their package. Like, there's so much you can do. And I think it's really interesting because we work with hundreds of brands just to see how each one takes their own tracking page and makes it unique to themselves.
Yeah, let's talk about those tracking pages actually, because
Yeah.
you raised a good point that I just placed an order from Disney recently, and you'd think Disney, being Disney, would have the best, the best post-purchase experience. I got an email that said, "Hey, thanks for your order." Then I got another email that said, "Your order is on the way. Here's the tracking number." Clicked on the tracking number. It sent me to just a standard like DHL tracking page. And I was like, okay, great. And to be fair, to say that they're the ones shipping the product, they have the least information possible on there. Like, it's just not clear. I don't care about all the barcode numbers and all that. I just want to know where it is, right? And everyone's steps are a little bit different to whereabouts it is. If it's in the warehouse today, does that mean it's going to come to me today? Like, there's so many questions, right? So with those custom tracking pages, I actually never thought about what you said before. Like, it's a new marketing real estate that you never really thought about before, because the open rate of this stuff is so huge that you really have those customers probably for like the most time possible. So what are some of your customers doing with their tracking pages?
Yeah. So, we always, again, you start at the basics. Like, we don't want to overwhelm you with all the things you could be doing. So really at its core, you should be offering FAQs, and you can pull those from your CX tickets. So, what your customers are asking the most. So answer that front and center. But then, we have, Boxu, which is a new customer, and they are actually putting different copy on their tracking page depending what stage of the process your order is in to get to you.
Amazing.
It's building anticipation when you already haven't gotten it, but once you get it, it's like, go get it. Like, here's what's in it. And then we have customers like Jones Road Beauty, where it's really neat. They're actually customizing the page where if you've ordered a specific product, then there you might also like section has products that aren't that product, which I love. And then the bottom section has specific product usage tips to what you ordered. So you can really get advanced and customized with it. We're also rolling out integrations like Junip. So You can put review requests right there, and they only see the review request once the order has been delivered. So you're not timing it weirdly. You're not making guesses as to when they received it. You know exactly when. You can trigger off of that. We're working on integrations with surveys, so that you can also ask post-purchase questions once the order's been delivered. And then you can really get advanced too. We've got Schoolyard Snacks, which has a video where the two co-founders talk about, the
That's so
product and why
cool.
they started it. Yeah. We've also got animations. We've got Ripple Co, which actually has a GIF that goes like Ripple Co across the screen, so it really grabs your
Cool.
eye. We've got Pop-Off Leather has a quiz that lets you figure out what your product type is or what you should be buying next. So really, you can do anything you want with it. It's just really powerful, and you can brand it to your absolute specifications. So we've just got these beautiful examples. We actually have an order tracking swipe file where you can get inspiration. So definitely worth looking at what's possible, because it really is sky's the limit. And if you're a marketer, I think it's really an interesting playground to play in.
Yeah, I don't think many people think about that as a marketing space at all. Because again, it's that thing of you've got the customer, like if they come back again, great. If not, we'll just try and get them in with a sales flow. But a lot of the time, this is like prime selling for them, once that order is on the way and once it comes to them, right? Talking about that, I think this all kind of helps with building that relationship between the customers and the brands. That's so important. I think it's become more and more important, especially when you look at brands like Obvi, who have, I'd say, one of the most powerful communities I've ever seen for a brand. Like, their Facebook group is active all the time. They have people which just buy everything that they bring out. Like, this is a perfect example of how you can build community through your purchases. And I did see Obvi include like little leaflets in there with QR codes for their customers and stuff. How does relationship building, how can you do that via post-purchase? Because it seems like the perfect opportunity to start to build that community.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I see this growing movement with brands where customer experience is not just a buzzword, but it's actually a team. And
Mm-hmm.
we're seeing this movement from customer support to customer experience. And so it used to be, you'd include your support information with your post-purchase notifications to say, if anything goes wrong, please contact us. And yes, like there's still CX people who will handle any issues you have and try to get that resolved as quickly as possible. But now we're seeing brands that are really using the customer support channel as a relationship building tool. And so as you're funneling people from their order information to your support team, are you asking them questions about their experience? Are you providing recommendations? Are you listening? If there are things going on in their day that aren't even related to the product. I was listening to a conversation between Eli Weiss from Jones Road Beauty and
Mm-hmm.
Michael Bear from Figs, and they were talking about how now their teams are really focused on, is someone having a really bad time and their order being stalled is just part of a worse situation they're in. For example, like, did a hurricane hit their house? Like, is
Yeah.
there something going on with their wedding planning? So like those negative situations, like, are there things they can do to surprise and delight the customer to really make an impact? Or if something's going well, if they have a new baby, or like you're listening to music in the background and hear it's the Little Mermaid, can they send them like a little stuffed crab? Like, just really thoughtful moments that they can make a big impact on the long-term value of the relationship they're building with their customer. And in the example of Jones Road Beauty, what I love is they actually have CX people who used to be makeup consultants or still are, and they'll do recommendations, consultations to say, we've got this foundational product. We don't have a retail store that most people can go into, but we can do a consultation over video where we can tell you exactly what shade we think you should order. So just really adding extra value to just to the purchase. So it's not just, oh,
Mm.
I ordered this thing and I got it. It's like this long-term investment that they're making. And I think another really great example is the Rise Superfoods. They actually encourage you to talk to their customer support. Like, they're putting little seeds and breadcrumbs all across the post-purchase experience because they want to get on the phone. They want to have the conversation. They want to make it more significant than just, yeah, you bought from us a few times. And I love that. It's instead of avoiding talking to your customer, it's actively encouraging it.
Yeah, because that's so true. I mean, I've worked with brands and for brands which the worst part of this whole thing is communicating with your customers, because they're normally communicating with you because they have some type of problem and you normally have to do it, but putting a positive spin on that and being like, no, come and talk to us, because then you get that idea of, you've bought from us and we can still help you with this product. I think there's that Jones Row Beauty idea is amazing. I think having makeup artists who are there to help you for a makeup brand, it makes sense. Why would you do it any other way, right? So how much of an impact do you think post purchase has on the return of a customer? Because we've kind of touched on it, that if someone has a bad experience, they're not going to come back. If someone has a good experience, then they might come back. How do you stop it from just being a one-time purchase? Is it stuff that you're putting in the tracking page? Is it with the emails? Is it, what have you found is the best things to do in post-purchase to ensure that people are coming back for more?
Yeah, I mean, so within Wonderment, sure, you can, I think subscription programs are a really big lever that you can pull. You can tell people, hey, you bought this at this price, but, if you subscribe, then, you get 20% off and you get all these other perks with it. So that's an easy one. If you don't have a subscription service, the other thing that we are seeing a growing adoption of is, plugging your email or your SMS program. So making sure that you're building your list through post-purchase. So if someone hasn't subscribed to your SMS updates, you can definitely put a form on your order tracking page, or you can, put a little banner in your email that says, keep up to date, because, just because they're subscribed with their order updates doesn't mean they're enrolled in your marketing campaigns. So that's an easy one as well. But outside of Wonderment, I'm seeing a lot of interesting campaigns people are running. For example, in direct mail, like this is something I hadn't really thought of before, but we do have a few customers that are experimenting with, all right, so we've got a person in, they've made a purchase. We know that usually it takes, let's say, 90 days for them to use the product and either find value or not. How do we make sure we're getting in front of them again? And so I was just talking to the COO of Run Gum, and he said they have launched a program with, I think it's called Post Pilot, and they will send a postcard in the mail to a customer with their name front and center, like, hey, Michelle, thank you for your first purchase. And then, if you want to come back, we're offering you, let's say, 20% off your next purchase. And, there might be a QR code on there. So that's like an innovative thing that, direct mail, I would never think like D2C would be into, but it really, I think there are a few other brands, Obvi's doing it. I think ProMix is also doing it. So that's an interesting way to get people back in the door. That's not your typical D2C move. I think your Obvi example is amazing. Like, we're seeing communities pop up now. We have one company called Awkward Essentials that we're working with. They also have a Facebook group. And it's like really interesting, intimate conversations people are having about their health and wellness. And it really makes you feel like you're part of something bigger. And by the way, if you're logging into Facebook every day and you're seeing the notifications from this group, that's going to keep it front and center for you that, oh yeah, like I need to order more of that. Drones Drew Beauty also has a Facebook group. And so community is a big one. I'm now seeing a few brands too, where they will kind of put their product launches as events. And so they'll tease you with an email that says something's big is coming. So for example, Three Ships is one of our brands that we work with. They do a really good job every time they have a new launch. They'll say like, guess what it is? They'll send you an SMS that says, we're going to do a live launch 2 days from now. And then they'll send you a reminder that's like, join us. And then they'll have a live stream, and their founders will be on the video with their dog and talking about this new product and how excited they are. And they'll have a live shopping experience. There's really interesting things you can do to build that sense of the brand, not just from the branding, but actually interactions with humans, which again, I think going back to the CX example, like this is the extra layer of keeping top of mind, of adding value. I think another thing that I've seen brands do is they'll include a freebie with the purchase to keep people thinking about the brand as well. So we work with Red Moose, which is a shoe care company, and they'll send like a little keychain in the mail with an order, and it only costs them an extra $1 to do that, but it's got the branding on there. Every time someone opens a beer, they think of Red Moose. So that's really smart. 3 ships sends little stickers. What else do we have? I think Rise actually has a free app that you can download with your purchase. So you can keep a journal on your journey from switching from regular coffee to mushroom coffee. So just, yeah, that extra little layer of
Yeah.
thoughtfulness really goes a long way.
Yeah, I think we're going back to those days of everyone loves buying from small businesses, right? Because it's like you're buying in and supporting someone all the time, right? And I think that's where D2C kind of has an edge because we can do the things like Facebook groups and stuff like that where you're building that community, and when you buy from them you feel like you're buying from these founders which are building this business and not from somewhere like, Walmart, where you don't know who owns Walmart. You're just giving money to this big building, right? Like, so I think that's definitely something which can help with post purchase. And I think that goes to my next question is about trust. I think the one thing that always knocks me when I buy from someone and I'm instantly thinking, I don't trust this brand, is the post purchase. If I'm not getting certain emails and certain notifications when I buy something, especially if it's like over like £50, $50, I'm starting to think I'm a little bit worried now. The post purchase, it must play a massive part in that, right? In making sure that customers trust people.
Yeah, that's an amazing point. Especially if something's expensive. We've got a company we work with called Mia where their sweaters are sometimes $1,000.
Whoa.
Do you want to have that decision regret of I just spent $1,000 and I don't know where my package is and have I just
Yeah.
been, played basically? And then there's also a situation. I mean, there's situations where there's confusion, right? Like there are brands that send multiple shipments with one order and you don't know where part of the order is, or
Mm-hmm.
you're getting multiple orders from different companies, and because they're all sending for DHL you can't even tell where in your inbox where the notifications
Yeah.
are because they all look the same. There's just so much clarity you get when it's a branded email from the company telling you exactly where in the process your order is, and that extra layer of authenticity and trust that you get when you actually are upfront and honest. I know a lot of brands dance around the am I going to make people angry if I say there's a delay, but really, do you want to ignore it and make them
Yeah.
angry, or do you want to get in front of it before they even notice and say, hey, we are actively monitoring the situation. We will take steps to make sure you get it. We will send you a refund. We will expedite the order. We'll do everything we possibly can to make this right for you. That just feels so much better.
Mm-hmm.
And you're likely to win people over. And the craziest thing to me is, we preach this, that you should be doing this and just because it's a better experience, right? But people actually buy more products from the delivery delay notifications, which it blows my mind. You would think that would be completely opposite of
Yeah.
what customers are going to do. But like we've had a few brands now that say like they've actually tweeted this, like I have this delivery delay flow and I'm getting additional orders from it. Like that is just,
What? That's crazy. Why?
I know,
Why? That's the last thing I'd think about doing is buying
right?
more when my.
People will value that. They actually really care that you're doing the right thing for them, and that's what they respond to,
Yeah.
and that will put you head and shoulders above any other brand that's not doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think owning a situation like that is by far the best move to do, especially when it comes to like Q4, where everyone wants to know where their orders are. I'd rather know that there's a problem with it and it's being fixed than have no idea what's going on and just like, please, somebody tell me. Because then you're calling up people and then you start to think, I'm just going to cancel this order because it's easier. I just want my money back. Now I'm going to ask you a question, and I want your honest opinion. What brand do you think has the best post-purchase out there?
Oh, this is really tough because I have two, and they're head to head in my mind. But
Okay,
I'm gonna
two's fine.
say, okay,
You can
two's
have
fine.
two. You can have two.
Okay, because I'm a huge seltzer person, and
Uh-huh.
Orevora is one of my favorites. One of my two favorites. They crush it. So we were just talking to Cameron Feist, who runs the post purchase experience over there, and just from start to finish, you go to their website. It's beautifully branded. You place the order. You get these gorgeous emails, but they're funny too. They've got, Curb Your Enthusiasm gifts. They've got like Narcos references. They're just really entertaining. And then the messaging evolves as your order gets closer to you. So they build anticipation. They're like, here's a recipe you can do with the seltzer that you ordered. Here's a poem that we wrote about it. Just really fun content. And then the order tracking page, again, you go to the order tracking page to see where your delivery is, but also there's like this animated GIF that's really fun and cartoony. And they've got subscription information in there too. But then once you get your order, then their emails have reorder information. You get SMSs about it. It's just this holistic, beautiful experience that they put you through. And what's really fascinating about talking to Cameron is he said initially they thought they just only were thinking about the branding. They really wanted every touch point with the customer to be delightful, to be unique, to be interesting. They really wanted to reflect who Aura Bora is. But then as they saw people reacting to that, opening those emails, clicking on them, looking at the order tracking page, they realized, okay, we've got a revenue building opportunity. So then they actually invested with an agency in really taking those communications to the next level. And now they're just seeing a lot more return on that investment. And so, you can look at it from a, we want things to look pretty perspective, or we really want to reflect who we are. But then you can also say, all right, if we put more fuel on this fire, how big can we go with the returns on it? So I think that's a really great example. And then the other one, of course, is Feastables. So they are just, again, Mr. Beast is a big figure. They want to reflect that ethos in everything that they do. And so like they are doing really interesting things where, you'll get beautiful emails that are really exciting, that are really fun to read. But then you also have their SMS. So they've got like this rock, paper, scissors game that they just launched. So once you're in their ecosystem of emails and SMS, they're really getting you to engage. They've got like this really interesting chat bot. So if you go back to their site to look at your order information, you can talk to it. There's like a secret door that's got knock knock jokes and all this stuff. So really just taking that experience and again, doing something different, doing something unique, doing something branded on, just like you can be so memorable. And I think this is just such an overlooked area that brands can really have fun with. So I think once you get past the initial core notifications, you just open playing field to do fun stuff.
Yeah, I love that. Well, it's been a real pleasure talking. If people want to follow your journey more, they want to find out more about Wonderment, what's the place to go, best place to go, and how can they do it?
Yeah, so if you want to check out Wonderment, it's just wonderment.com, or we're Hi Wonderment on Twitter. I'm running that, so you can say hi to me. And then if you want to follow me personally, I'm Attack of the Text on Twitter.
Love that. Thank you so much for your time. It's been a real pleasure. And I'm excited to see what people do with post-purchase now that they've listened to this.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, game on.
And that's it for the D2C Deep Dive this week. Thanks very much for watching or listening. You can subscribe and follow on whatever platform you've decided to consume us on today. And also you can follow myself and the podcast on Twitter. It's at Sour Fraser, and then it's the D2C Deep Dive for the podcast to get all the news. I'll see you next week. Have a good one. Bye-bye.